I gotta not do what I did last time, which was, I saw, again. I told myself I wouldn't watch the podcast back. 100% went back and watched
Lied
the
to
podcast
yourself.
again. I held the MacBook like this towards the end, and I was just
you?
like,
Just iPad kid.
just
mode.
iPad kid for a full probably 30
That's
minutes. So
funny.
gotta keep the posture straight, keep the shoulders back. Hopefully that'll be nice for this week.
Yeah.
It's good to see you again.
Always, man. It's always good to see you.
I'm glad you made it back from your trip.
Yeah, man. That was fun, man. New York might be the most overrated place of all time, though. I mean, I know you went.
Yeah, I mean, I went 2 years ago. It was. I mean, I agree. I mean, I agree with you. I don't like New York was nice, but it was like, God. I mean, how do you even describe? It was like, yeah, it's cool. I could
Yeah.
imagine if you're like an immigrant in 1912, that how freaking dope that would be.
Yeah.
But it's like it's 2025, dude.
Right.
Like, everyone stinks.
Yeah.
There's rats everywhere.
Right. Everywhere.
Right. There's construction. Every building in New York City currently
Yeah.
under construction.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, dude, it's like, and everything's expensive too.
Yeah.
I mean, even you can get a dollar slice of pizza. and that's-
$1.50 now.
No, it's $1.50.
Yeah.
All right, dude, inflation.
Like I will give it to them though. Like when you go down into those subways, like you're getting a guaranteed concert,
Yeah. Yeah.
sermon,
Yeah.
rat pulling a piece of pizza. Like it's entertainment.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for, like, if you want to have like, okay, at any given moment, I could be touched by a stranger, stabbed by a stranger,
Yeah.
or kissed by a stranger. New York City's your spot.
That's your spot.
Shout out New York City, actually. Never mind. You know what? I think I kind of like New York City. And so when I went, right, we went with a bunch of people with a bunch of friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that I noticed is that New York City, like actual like the popular like Times Square, yibba yabba yibba da
Yeah.
Empire State Building it's like 5 blocks. It's like so small. You can walk all of New York City.
Yeah.
In 3 hours, like top to bottom,
Right.
pretty much. I mean, it is. I mean, Manhattan is a small
Manhattan, yeah.
it's like an island. It's
Right.
a small little island.
Right.
But, I mean, it's cool. I mean, definitely I think everybody should go to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy I mean, it's not my favorite city by any means. I mean, I haven't been to Chicago in a couple of years. I really like Chicago when I went, but that was before they had the Hellcat and the Draco, so I think Chicago's changed.
Revolutionized.
I think
the
they
hood.
didn't have air fryers then, so
No.
it's a little different.
That'll do it.
It's a little different over there. But, I mean, you know me, I'm a sucker for Boston.
Yeah.
God, I love Boston.
I know. You talk about it all the time.
Oh, dude, my ambition is to exchange all my cryptocurrency, my billions of dollars in cryptocurrency, and just buy a spot. You just chill and dude, public transport is the one thing Tampa doesn't have. You can take the trolley downtown, but like actual, like I
Public.
can't. I mean, if you go like downtown, first of all, Tampa Bay, the actual city Tampa, is the least walkable city in the entire United States. You can't walk any. It's like
what? Downtown Tampa?
yes.
Riverwalk?
That's exactly one spot, and they have to define it as a walking space.
But what do you mean by that? Because
Because okay, so when you're
compared to
in
New York City.
yes, New York City, in one block, you can get your groceries, go shopping for some new clothes, go
Okay.
see your doctor. There's public transport.
Yeah.
Get a good meal,
Yeah.
all in one block.
Okay.
Tampa, you start at Armature, right?
Yeah.
On Riverwalk, right? 3 miles, Sparkman's Wharf. That's the next cool little spot to get like food.
Right.
And then like in between there, 1.5 miles deep, you have like the art museum, and that's where like UT is where the actual
Yeah.
like Riverwalk is.
But the only difference is that you can actually have a car in Tampa. And when you're going to Tampa, you're intentionally going there. And when you're in New York, you don't have public transit. And if you do, that's a big risk. Not public transit, I'm sorry, your own vehicle.
Your self-transportation.
Yeah, self-transportation. And that's
But I'm saying like that's like if you're in a big city, it's exactly what you want. You want to like hop on a train, go to there, or like ride a bike to your job. Like Tampa is like it's like such a small big city, and also like Tampa is like just like businesses, but not like local like mom and pop like restaurants. It's like Wells Fargo.
yeah.
What's that big one? I think that is a Wells Fargo, the one with like the little the pyramid. That's
It
literally
is.
it's literally the biggest like the coolest building
Yeah.
is a Wells Fargo.
Well, then my point would be, what is your like model city then? Because
Boston.
New York isn't that.
Boston.
Boston.
In any direction in 20 minutes, you can go to Cambridge, which is where Harvard's at. It's a sick like little college town.
Yeah.
Everything's brick. They got like little hamburger spots and thrift stores and plant shops, right?
Yeah.
You could take another 20-minute ride and go to where MIT is,
Yeah.
right, just on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
And it's like a tech bro spot,
Yeah.
but again, very walkable, little shops, restaurants. It's a whole different environment. Then you have like downtown Boston, right?
Yeah.
Like where their Central Park is. It's not Central Park, but
Yeah.
where they have like their Central Park at. And again, restaurants lining the whole thing. That you can go to Edgar Allan Poe's like home from when he lived there. Like it's
Yeah.
like right there. And there's a ton of cool stuff. Fenway's like a 5-minute like walk from wherever that little park. Like it's like a very small. And then you have the business district like up in I think the north end.
Yeah.
The business district, and again, tech bro. The food is unbelievable, and everything is like you could like when we were there, we walked everywhere. Like we would take the train every to and fro, but for the most part, we just walked because it's like so small. But there's so much like diversity, and then we also hopped in our car one day, drove 1 hour north, and went to Maine and was like at a lighthouse on the coast.
That's nice.
That's like
Location wise,
it's the ideal city.
Yeah, you bring snow into account and all that.
Yeah, you get a white Christmas.
Yeah, it's a give and take.
Teams,
It's a give and take.
Good sports teams: Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox,
Patriots. Not anymore though.
But they're getting there.
They're
They signed Stephon Diggs, 3 years, $69 million. Nice.
I don't like that.
But I'm saying like you got good sports
Yeah.
teams. The food, Jay. How was your food experience in New York City? Because I know when I went, we went with a certain individual who is an associate to both of us, who sucks and who sucks at picking food. And we ate like the most mid-table food, except for that one spot, that burger joint, Smashed Burger. Shout out Smashed Burger in New York City, wherever you are, by Cat's Deli.
Yeah, here's the problem that I have. I've met a lot of New Yorkers, especially here in Florida. They're all moving down here in record numbers, and I think there's a reason why. But I mean, they claim that they have like the best food, the culture, all of this stuff, and I feel like now that I've been there, it's because they've never traveled anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because like they claim that they have like the pizza, right? Yeah, you have to go get New York pizza. You have to go get
hot dog,
right?
The Met, Statue of Liberty,
the Met, all those things, and we went and did all of those things, and it was average, like if not below.
Yeah, mid at
and,
best.
and it's because each place became a tourist trap, and I understand like there's going to be touristy places. Like I haven't been to Rome personally. My girlfriend did, and I heard like great stories about it, and there was tourists there, but at least they had like things that warranted it, like the Colosseum and stuff, and, like really cool historical things. The problem I have is like, for example, I went to the 9/11 memorial. Beautiful.
It's awesome.
One of the most beautiful memorials I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys got to do that.
Absolutely. But then there's a little gift shop cart in the vicinity, as well as a museum that you have to pay to get into.
Yeah, that was a little lame that you had to pay to go to like
get
the
into
actual
that.
9/11
And
museum.
The reason I have a problem with that is because we went into a Native American museum there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it was grand, all this marble and all of that, and it was free. And I was like, if anything be free in the United States for museums, the 9/11 museum should not be $30 a person.
Yeah, we didn't go into the museum. We just went to the memorial.
Yeah.
And then there's like a mall.
Yeah.
There's literally a mall just like 10 paces to your right.
Right. And yeah, it was the mall. It was a really cool looking mall.
Yeah, the mall was sick.
Yeah.
Pull a picture of the mall.
I know, right? Yeah, that mall was pretty nice.
That mall in New York City, 1.5 thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. 1.5 out of 2.
All right. Yeah, no, for sure. But I think one of my main problems too with New York is that it's the culture. I mean, like, I've never been to another place. Does Boston have a culture? Like the people? Or,
I mean, everyone knows the Bostonian.
Right.
It's me, your cousin from Boston.
Right, and like New York, I mean, like New York, like kind of like loud.
So my experience with Boston, I've only been there twice.
Yeah.
Right, but the second time I was there for a week with friends, so I got to really kind of experience the people and the culture. Bostonians are jerks, but they're doing something nice. Like they'll open the door for you with one hand opening the door and the other hand giving you the bird.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of, I would say, like they're all good people. Like I didn't have any conflict. One thing I will say though, the astounding difference between New York City and Boston was when I was walking in Boston, it was 3:00 in the morning and I'm walking to a CVS. I felt fine. I felt completely safe. But in New York City, it's 9 a.m. in the morning and I'm like literally looking around.
And speaking of that, get this. March 16th, which I believe was the Monday or Tuesday that we were there at like 3 a.m. in Central Park. There's been like gang activity. And and the craziest thing, no, but literally, and because we lived like 4 blocks down from Central Park.
Were you guys at an Airbnb or?
No, it was a hotel.
Okay.
It was a nice hotel. But in Central Park, a dude got lit on fire. Somebody.
That is not funny.
No,
That is not funny at all.
Somebody, like a car drove up. Somebody from the back seat ran out, poured like some kind of rum or something, high alcohol volume, lit him on fire.
I cannot believe these people.
It happened, and that's the second time it's happened within the last few months, and only twice, 2 times too many. That's insane that happened. So yeah, no, and also like the whole thing with the culture, it's like if somebody comes up to you smiling, you're either getting scammed or robbed. Like there's no kind of like
Or they're high.
On
meth.
Dude, it smelled like the only 2 smells the entire time, and not only was it smoggy, like thick air and you could see it from coming from under the roads. The only 2 smells.
Cool. I like that.
What, you like that?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. A little bit. It stinks, but it's kind of nice.
And so it was weed and urine the whole time.
Yeah, no, the weed is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Everywhere, because it's legal there, I think, in New York.
Yeah.
But it's like whatever, dude. But no, I mean it's cool. Like I think the thing that's appealing to me is that I was born in Missouri, in a small town, right? That was destroyed by a tornado.
Yeah.
Right. Moved to Florida, lived in like a small suburbia. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then moved to another part of Florida that's also another small suburbia.
Right.
And I get tired of like the needless traffic. Like if there's gonna be traffic, I at least want to be like somewhere that warrants traffic, like being downtown. Like if there's a big game, right?
Right.
But like especially where we're at. Traffic they literally closed down one of the major intersections right by our house. And they were like, we're just going to widen the part that doesn't have traffic. Yeah. We're going to widen the lanes at the part that doesn't have traffic. Right. But we're not going to widen the spot that has the most congestion. Yeah. What I'm saying, like, if I'm going to be in a place where everybody's rushing, I at least want to be in the hustle and bustle. Like, I don't want to have to freaking fight for a spot in the turn lane with someone trying to go work at Dunkin' Donuts while I'm trying to go pressure wash. All right? Like, I at least want to fight with a tech bro while we're trying to pick up our Starbucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Starbucks, kind of a matcha guy now.
Oh gosh.
The memes got to me.
I didn't think this day would come.
I'm a green freak, brother.
And you've always been like...
I'm the green monster.
No, you've always been like, you like the drinks that make you feel like a man. Like, I drink my coffee black. Like, you've been like that kind of guy.
Yeah, I know.
And then...
That's because I like the facade. I have a gilded personality where I project this inner version of myself that is more adequate than the current and present tense.
Yeah. Yeah, so matcha.
So
matcha,
yeah.
Right?
All right, listen, guys. Welcome back to the Mixed Podcast with Jay and Ruiz. Sorry for that tangent. If you didn't notice, we didn't mention anything about race or politics while talking about New York City. We're the first podcast in human history to not do that. Wow. I bit my tongue, all right? I bit my tongue.
I'm so
but
sorry.
Welcome back, guys. Week 2.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. To the 3 people that watched our podcast 6 times, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the 16 views and the 1 like.
Absolutely.
We do it for you guys. You guys are the reason we wake up every single morning. Is exclusively for you 16. This is definitely not Jay and I watching the episode 8 times each. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm sure from the bottom of Jay's feet.
Yeah.
Well, we can't both come from the bottom of our hearts.
That's fair.
That's fair. Anyways, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Can't say it
Truthfully. Yeah.
But welcome back.
Welcome back.
We got the introductions out of the way, right, in week 1. So you guys know who we are now. You know that we're super cool and reputable and like swag, right? Yeah. Turned my swag on this morning, right? So that way I could do this.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have you back from your vacation. I'm glad we finally got episode 1 out. That took, 40 days?
Yeah, the
40 days, 40 nights?
Insane. I know, right?
I had a Noah's Ark moment trying to post it.
Straight up, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It came out. That's what matters.
It's speed bumps. It's learning curves.
Just like my cousin Lenny, it came out.
Did he?
Now he did. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you guys all for watching.
Absolutely.
Also, film myself. Right? Film myself in a modest, respectable manner, okay?
You fill?
Film. Yeah, Jay, I've been filling myself the last 2 weeks.
Dude, that's what I heard.
I've been film. F-I-L-M.
I'm so sorry.
I filmed myself, so thank you to the 2 people who went out and watched my personal YouTube page.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to see that. I will no longer be posting in the future because I got banned.
What did you post?
Anyways.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm happy to be here with you again. Week 2, we did
Yeah.
it. We made it. We did it.
Right.
We did it. We're back in our studio. It's
Yeah.
definitely not Jay's bedroom. This
No.
is a real professional studio
Right.
that we have bought and renovated.
Right. How long did that take us to do?
Well, we said we met when we were 12.
Did we meet when we were 12?
It's been a couple of years.
No, we didn't meet when we were 12.
But thank you guys for checking out episode 1. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it. I know we've said it. We're gonna echo it. We're gonna say it every 10 times.
Every time.
Every 10 seconds, it's gonna say thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But welcome back, Jay.
Thank you. I'm feeling glad to be back here at my own room.
Well, as many of you guys know, again, to the 3 people that watched our podcast 6 times, one of the things that we hope to accomplish whenever filming these is that Jay and I will have independent topics, right? So Jay, if you want, you want to move into this?
Yeah.
Let's move into it. Okay. So I would like, if we could, just start. Do you have a title by chance for your topic or a topic statement?
No, I think it mainly was centered around New York in
Okay.
a sense, and so it's like we've touched bases on it. So I think we should start with yours.
Start with mine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, bear with me here. If you watch the my personal episode, the kind of behind the scenes of this, I talked a little bit about this. I tried not to sound like Professor Cornball. Okay, tried not to sound like Professor Cornball,
okay.
but unfortunately, class is in session, so I am your professor today, Professor Cornball.
Uh-huh.
My topic today. This is my topic sentence, I guess. And I swear it's not preachy or anything. The topic is power in presence.
Okay.
And that's presence as in Presence.
Okay. Yeah.
Not presents like the ones that you open up under the tree. Okay. So I kind of got this idea for like, or at least like I was looking a little bit into the word of presence, right? Because I've been, as you know, running and going to school and like kind of have a lot on my plate right now, going to work and doing a ton of things at once. So I've been like trying to figure out how I can have like presence, right? Like be more involved in every moment that I'm in, right? Whether that's like just like putting my phone on Do Not Disturb and putting across the room or like actively engaging in something. So I've been trying to be more present, but also have presence, right? And so I make that distinction is because one of the key points about my topic, right, is present as in like the present, like spelled the same way, but also as in being actually physically in a place and versus presence. So present versus presence, right? So like any scholar, I looked up on Google what the definitions of these 2 words are.
Right.
So present simply means in a particular place, existing or occurring now. Or in other words, the period of time now occurring. Right? Common sense, right? Where you and I both right now are present.
Present.
All right?
Yeah.
We are both physically here. Okay?
Yeah.
Presence is defined as the state of the fact of existing, occurring, or being present in a place or thing, right? So you hear those 2 things, they sound almost identical, right? They're almost exactly the same answer. But whenever you kind of look a little bit further into it, when you actually look up like present versus presence, it gives like this. I looked this up. This is kind of what I was trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
But this is what Google has to say, right? The most credible source on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Present can be an adjective, meaning existing or occurring now, or a noun, meaning a gift, right? As we know.
Yeah.
While presence is a noun referring to the state of being in a particular place, or, and this is the important part, the impression someone makes.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, that's super sick. That's exactly what I'm trying to like pinpoint, right? In this idea, right? So again, life is really busy, right? As I'm sure it is for most people, right? Most Americans especially. Some people working 2 jobs now. They have families. They have outside activities, extracurriculars. I mean, just a plethora of things on a day-to-day basis that allows them to be present but doesn't allow them to have presence, right? And I think that like in a day-to-day life where it's so easy to not have presence and just be present, that it's important to not just show up but actually like make an impact, right? And I don't just mean like make an impact in the sense of like I'm going to go to a women's rights rally this weekend and I'm going to have an impact. It's like, yeah, you can do that. I mean, if that's your form of having presence, but I mean like really make a difference, right? Like in something, and difference in change can be like really small, right? So when I'm researching like this topic, I was just like trying to figure out where I wanted to go, because it's a very like simple idea, right? Like, hey, don't just be somewhere, actually be there mentally, physically, all that you are, be in one place, right? And that led me actually to a fun quote, right? And it's by a gentleman by the name of Jim Elliot, which you're probably like, who is Jim Elliot,
No clue.
right? Because I was also like, who is Jim Elliot, right? So Jim Elliot said, wherever you are, be all there.
Yeah.
Very simple quote. I really liked it. I was like, that's, again, kind of what I'm trying to pry out of this very simple concept that I'm dragging across a bed of nails and broken glass. But Jim Elliot was actually a Christian missionary who was born in 1920, who in 1952 traveled to Ecuador and was brutally murdered by indigenous warrior tribesmen while trying to spread the gospel in the January of 1956.
Wow.
Right? And I was like, okay, like, what a weird thing. But he's just kind of like a random guy, like a blip in history, right?
Yeah.
But again, I felt like that was kind of like something also pretty cool, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, his wife ended up writing a book, because I think she was there with him. They had like 3 kids, right? She ended up writing a book. They have like a university named after Jim Elliot, where it's like some sect of like a Christian, you know how they all are. There's like 45 denominations.
They are.
But I was like, this guy's super interesting, right? And one of the funny things that I found out about Mr. Elliot was that they gave an indigenous man an airplane ride, and they promptly named him George.
Promptly.
So I just want you to take a moment here. Travel with me.
Yeah.
Okay, close your eyes.
Close
all right.
my eyes.
It's 1952. All right. You are a white American from, I think it was Illinois, right?
Easy.
You're traveling to Ecuador, right? You've never been to Ecuador. No one you know has ever been to Ecuador, and you're going to spread the gospel, right?
Yep.
You show up, you start building your compound and your place to live with a buddy of yours that you met, right? Who had, I think, been there before, but I can't remember because I looked it up on Wikipedia and I'm not an expert and this isn't a lesson. Okay?
Okay.
So you're there, right?
Yeah.
And you come across a tribe of indigenous people who have, at this point, been uncontacted. And your first thought is, let's take them on an alien spaceship ride.
Oh my gosh.
And name him George, right? Because imagine you're okay, now be them. You are an indigenous man who has never come into contact with another tribe, nevertheless a white American.
Yeah.
And they take you into their metal locust, their metal bird, and they literally take you up into the sky and show you the entire world that you know. How sick is that, dude?
Yeah. I mean, at that perspective, you would think like he was God.
Exactly, right? So whenever they had this experience, according to my research, they were like, oh, the people like us. Like, they want to hang out with us. We got to take them up and do a plane ride. And then actually a tribe of warriors came and brutally murdered them, and they found his body down a river.
Wow.
But I like this story, not just because I think it's, like, obviously it's sad. It's kind of a little funny because it's like, what do you know, white man has a business going to Ecuador in 1956, but we're grateful that he did. But I thought it was cool because Mr. Elliot, when he went, he wasn't going to be present, right? Like, he wasn't going for a vacation or just to like go on an exploration, right? Like, he was going for a mission, right?
Yeah.
He was making a conscious effort and ambition. He had a goal, right? Yeah. In this case was to spread the gospel, but he sacrificed everything that he had. Like, he literally, I mean, dude, again, you're from like Illinois and you're going to Ecuador, you know, no one you know has ever been to Ecuador, and he sacrificed everything, you know, during a time that was probably very difficult for, you know, doing missionary work. I mean, obviously it's more modern than like conquistadors going and exploring the world, but you know, he uprooted everything, and I just thought it was really cool because he didn't just show up. Like, he tried to make a difference. Yeah. So I like that his quote is, wherever you are, be all there. Yeah. Because obviously he left everything he had there in Ecuador.
No, right? For sure. For sure.
Which, I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I think it's kind of just talking about what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. And just about like presence, having presence.
Yeah.
I think it's an important idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that kind of reminds me of another story. And it's like that idea of being present. Is it, and this is kind of like a question, kind of just to combat of it, but is it like subjective? Like there's no flatline way of being present or like a model way of being present in a certain
Well, again,
situation?
I think, again, guys, I'm dumb. I'm going to community college and I work as a power washer. But I think the idea is that there is a distinction between being present
Yeah.
and having a presence, right?
Yeah.
Because in order to have a presence, you have to first be present, right? That's why there's that quote, it's what, showing up is half the battle,
Yeah.
right? But that's exactly what it's half the battle, right? And so, as I said before in that quote from Mr. Google, it says that it's the impression that somebody makes,
Yeah.
right? So being present is just happening to be in a matter of existence.
Yeah.
You are here, right?
Yeah.
But presence means that you in your existence has impacted directly
Yeah.
somebody else.
Right. Right. And so like it's almost the intangible side of it.
So like how I was viewing it was like, we go out to dinner. Everyone goes out, for the most part, goes out to dinner. And like I look around, I remember when I was a kid, we didn't really have like cell phones. We had like flip phones, in like the early stages of phones, and then iPads and all that. But my parents, like their number one philosophy whenever we would go out to dinner was no phones at the table. Right. If you're going to be with your family, you need to be with your family.
Yeah.
Right. And so at a young age, they taught us kind of the idea of having a presence, right? Is that it's not enough just to like be out at family dinner. So like now I look around and I'm sure everybody just looks around and you see like, yeah, you guys are all out to dinner.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, for some people that is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And it is. I mean, it's good to be with people that you love.
Right.
But like, how about like you just take that extra measure, right? Because you see them, a lot of them just head,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
bare, like how I was that on last podcast, like this.
Yeah.
Full iPad kid.
It is.
But like, how about you just put the phone down, and like ask them like, hey, how was your week this week?
Yeah.
Like how was, how was today at work?
Yeah.
And like genuinely be like curious because that makes a difference.
Right.
Because I was hoping I could say this later, but you've pried it out of me.
Okay.
Right. I said being present is a routine, right? But presence is intentional.
Yeah.
Right. Every day I show up to work, right, and I'm physically present because it's routine. I have to. I kind of have to be there, and I need to be there.
Yeah.
So it just becomes habitual.
Yeah.
I show up, I clock out. I show up, clock out. Right. But there's very few days where I show up and I try to have presence in the sense of I try to make a difference in my job. I make like this conscious, effort, right? And so I put down that when you're trying to have presence, it requires something out of you, right? It requires a little bit of a sacrifice, right? Not as in like you have to give anything, but like there is a part of you that you have to kind of put away, right? So I put that having presence requires a sacrifice in the sense of mindfulness, right? Purpose and a conscious effort.
Yeah.
Right? You have to like genuinely like again conscious, like you have to in your brain cognitively think, I need to be here right now to make a difference.
Yeah.
Right? Like who I am, I'm going to impact whoever I'm with, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of related it to when I was a kid, right? I was, you and I know we were both all-stars for our soccer team, although you unfittingly won player of the year or something.
Yeah, I know. I want a cookie.
Got a cookie.
I got a cookie.
But we were both on the soccer team, right? And then I was also in band in middle school. And I remember, my dad worked a lot when I was a kid, like all the time, 6 days a week, 12-hour days. I saw my dad maybe at night, right? And I remember that whenever I would have these like school events, right, that whenever my dad would like walk in, if I was like getting ready for band, right, I was, as you guys all know, first chair because I'm such a stud, right? And I was sitting there in my oversized black, button-up sports coat, right, with khaki slacks, looking like
bunch of all-stars out there.
Looking like a drunk professional golfer, dude. I look like John Daly up there with a lesbian haircut. And I would see my dad walk in, and like it would like mean something to me.
Yeah.
Right? Or if I was playing soccer and I had my fresh Nike Mercurials Superflies on with my socks pulled up to my knees and 350 pounds, and I would see my dad in the stands, right? That would mean something to me. Right. And I was thinking as I was kind of like, as I was writing this, and I was like, why? But like, obviously it's your dad, right? Or your, whoever it is. If someone shows up, you're like, oh, it's awesome, right? But I think the reason why that's so impactful, especially as a kid, and I feel like especially for me, is that I understood that my dad being there wasn't what was awesome about it. It wasn't just the fact that my dad was there. It was that there were so many times that my dad was not able to be there because of work or life or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so when he did show up, right, which he did a lot. I don't want it to sound like my dad. My dad is the coolest guy ever. Jay knows. Dad, I love you. If you ever see this, I hope that you don't because it's so embarrassing. But if you ever see this, I love you, and you had a presence because I knew that when you showed up to my soccer game or when you showed up to my band recital and you heard me play Hot Cross Buns 45 times in a row, that you had to make a sacrifice. Yeah. And that goes back to what I said, that you had to drive through traffic. You had to not stop at home or eat all day to show up and sit. And even though you probably definitely didn't want to be there, he still showed up.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by the difference between being present and having a presence.
Yeah.
Is that when my dad showed up, I wanted to play better.
Yeah.
Right? Whether that was the trumpet or soccer, whether it was playing left wing back, even though I was a right winger, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about that.
Nope.
But it was that I wanted to play better. And he directly impacted me because he showed up and he made that cognitive and conscious effort, to make that difference.
Yeah.
For me.
Right.
And so that's kind of like where I was moving into that. And that led me kind of, in this thought bubble of being present. I found a couple more quotes. I'll kind of speed through them because I know that this is kind of redundant. But I feel like it's important.
It is.
It's in today's day and age. I know that if I can't have a presence physically, I say, you know what, I'm just going to maximize my screen time. I'll just cut it up to 13 hours a day. I want to see that message on my iPhone on a Sunday that says your average is up 936%.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not going to have a physical presence, I will have an online presence.
Right.
All right.
I hear that.
But I found like a couple things. So this one's from Ralph Waldo Emerson, which I know that you just love, Mr. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Waldo, yeah, that's my guy.
Actually, he did go by Waldo. I have that in my notes. That's
Good.
what he said. He said, we are always getting ready to live, but never living. I was like, dude, this is actually a deep podcast, bro.
Wow.
I might cry. No, but he was like, we're always getting ready to live, but never living, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, who is this Ralph Waldo Emerson? Why does his words have any validity?
Yeah.
Right? Why does, okay, cool. I mean, that's an awesome quote, but I can also say beans and ranch. Yeah. And that in 99 is like, dude, this guy said beans and ranch on a podcast. This guy's so, philosophical. Yeah. But Ralph Waldo Emerson, commonly known as just Waldo, you nailed that one on the head. He was actually an American essayist, a poet, a minister at one point, a speaker, and a very prestigious member of academia, right? He was a prominent member of the Transcendentalist movement, which is one of the earliest forms of philosophical movement that came out of the United States, right? Out of Western ideology was Transcendentalism. If you don't know what that is, look it up because I don't know either. I do a little. I'm not gonna explain. But yeah, so he was one of the earliest forms of an American philosopher, I guess you could say, essayist. And he's also considered one of the most influential writers of the 19th century. Right? I was like, dude, I've never heard of this guy. Right? Again, it's one of those weird things. It's like, it's just like people that like the guy Jim Elliot. It's like, dude, I don't know who Jim Elliot is. Like only a select niche of people would know who this guy is, right? But he was he was a very vocal critic of slavery, and he was always fighting against it. He supported the Emancipation Proclamation because he was alive during that time frame of the Civil War, and was a really cool guy. I mean, he always was advocating for the abolition. That's how you say that.
Abolition
of slavery throughout the Civil War.
Yeah.
And was just a strong supporter of Lincoln. Yeah. But I was like, this guy's cool, right? Because, and this again kind of goes into my topic a little bit, is that he was alive during a time that we now consider to be really important, right? The what's it called? Antebellum, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called?
Yeah,
the antebellum
yeah.
Time period, right? And it's just one of those things that's there was a lot of people who lived. I just burped. A lot of people who lived during that time, right? But there is very few people that we remember, right, from that time, or who did anything notable during that time. And this guy wrote a ton of essays. Again, he's considered, I read a little bit of it. It's like exactly what you would expect from like 1860s literature.
Yeah.
It's like mind-numbing when it scrape your
Unreadable.
eyeballs out, but I can see how it would be considered influential, especially during
Absolutely.
that time frame, but the 19th century. But it's like he was somebody who he could have just been present and been like, I'm in academia, I went to Harvard, right? I'm pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like I'm just gonna kind of stay silent, right?
Yeah.
But he like would write these papers
Yeah.
and would like try to make a difference in the way that he knew how to make a difference, which was
Yeah.
by writing.
And I want to add, because I think that quote is so interesting, and because it feels like we live in a day and age where we're always in a mode of preparation, and we're always preparing for something. Like, it reminds me of, like, just I'm in the phase of life of college, and I've heard from whether it be counselors or just people in my life where it's like, okay, you graduate high school, okay, go to college, like, go get your AA, right? Okay, you get your AA, you start looking around, okay, go get your bachelor's. All right, fair enough. You get your bachelor's, then you start hearing chirps about, okay, now your master. Like, it's like in the school realm, it's like
Always something else.
it's always, yeah, this state of preparation rather than promoting, like, going out and doing. And like, it'll sound, the topic will sound redundant, but it's just like I've learned like so much more being hands on and working and being present at work.
Yeah.
As opposed to, just floating in this mindset of like, okay, I'm doing this now, but it's going to be worth it in the end. It's like, no, make it worth it now.
Yeah.
And so, no, I find that quote really interesting.
No, I really liked it too because I was kind of getting the same thing out of it. That's kind of what I was pointing. Again, I'll reiterate for you at home who I know you're being touched deeply in your heart and you're going to change your entire life path because of this one podcast. We are always getting ready to live, but never living.
Yeah.
So the reason why I really like this one for being present versus presence is that we're all living, right? We're all present in this current day, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, like we're always preparing for what's next in the future, but never like reaping the harvest. We're never like, hey, I put in all this work, I'm going to live in today.
Yeah.
And so like it could be something as simple as enjoying a meal with your family.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking about like, oh man, I got to work tomorrow. I have an assignment due tonight at 11:59. Right. Like instead, like, why don't I just be here right now?
Right.
Right. Why don't I just exist in this moment? Right. Because the weird thing about life is that you will never have this exact moment ever again. We have the beautiful privilege, you and I, Jay, of having this moment immortalized in all of history, as long as there's technology, immortalized because we're filming it. But we will never actually physically be able to be in this moment ever again.
Never again.
So I have two choices. Either I could try to blow through this so that way I could get home and do nothing and get a shower and go to bed.
Yeah.
Or I could just enjoy being here with you and talking and thinking and communicating and trying to have an impact on one another. Right. And so like I could have spent my whole time just getting ready for this moment and then not actually living it.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here, I'm trying to bask in it. That's why I'm kind of okay with sounding a little redundant or just hashing over, because like to me, like this is important to me. Right. And that's the whole point. I'm not trying to reach you at home. Although I love you, thank you for tuning in. But like, I'm trying to reach me, bro. Like, I'm trying to change my life. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm also trying to figure out what I'm doing. Dude, I haven't had a 5-year plan since I was 5 years old, and my 5-year plan at 5 years old was to turn 10. All right, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I need to teach myself to be more in a moment, to live within the moment. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like why I got this.
Yeah.
I have one more quote, if you'll sit with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Band, if you want to go ahead and get up on the altar, start playing a piano song. I got one more thing I'm gonna say for the good.
Preach it,
preacher. Good book, brother.
Come on.
So this one is from Maya Angelou, right? If you are ignorant like me, you don't know who that was, and I would say is, but she's passed on. I didn't know who Maya Angelou was. Do you know who Maya Angelou is before I get into?
Nope.
The American education system has failed us again.
Go ahead, educate me.
I'm just a guy, right? I'm not a feminist. I am not a political commentator or a civil rights historian. I'm just a guy. I'm just a mixed brother trying to make it in America, okay?
Mix it up.
Maya Angelou, all right, and I'll describe who she was so that way it gives it even more validity. She said, "They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." Right.
That's good. Yeah.
So you're wondering who is Maya Angelou if you're ignorant and dumb like Jay and I, right? Which Jay should know. Well, I'll tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
So Maya Angelou, that's not her real name. I forget the real name because I looked it again up on Wikipedia, and it's about the idea, not about Maya Angelou. Although she deserves her episode of her own. Okay, because she's that sick. She was born in 1928 and died in 2014. R.I.P. Maya Angelou.
Rest in peace.
I wrote in one sentence. This is how you could summarize her. She was an exceptional human being. All right, she published 7. That was a sentence, by the way. Period.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is not one drag-on sentence.
Yeah.
She published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, and several books of poetry, and received more than 50 honorary degrees. All right. At one point in her young career, right? So you listen to that, and you're like, okay, she was an academic, she was smart, right?
Yeah.
When she was younger, she was a nightclub dancer, right? And during 1954 and 1955, Angelou toured Europe with a production of an opera, and she began to practice the learning of every language of the countries that she would visit, right?
Oh, yeah.
And after a few years, she gained proficiency in several of those languages. I think she spoke over 7 languages.
Wow.
So, dog, right?
Yeah.
She was a member of the Harlem Writers Guild, which is the oldest organization of African American writers, established initially as the Harlem Writers Club in 1950, right? So, sick. So she's another founder.
Yeah.
At one point in her career, she had moved to like Africa to like do something super awesome and amazing that I just didn't write down because I'm an idiot. But she became an administrator at the University of, you want to guess?
Uganda.
Ghana.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, you were close. And was active in the African American expatriate. Don't even matter about it, dude.
That's okay.
Doesn't even matter.
Round
bro.
up.
But anyways, after that, she became close friends with Malcolm X during his visits to that area in 1960. And in 1965, she returned to the United States and helped him to build his new civil rights organization, the Organization of Afro-American Unity.
Yeah.
So she was like actually like, she wasn't just like an advocate. Like she was in the groundwork, right? So in 1968, before Martin Luther King's assassination, Martin Luther King had directly asked Miss Angelou to organize a march.
Yeah.
So she was sick.
Yeah.
Right. And then also, despite having no experience at all, she wrote, produced, and narrated Black's Blues Black, right? A 10-part series of documentaries about the connections between blues music and African American heritage and what Angelou called the Africanism still current in the United States. For National Education Television, the precursor of PBS, published in 1972. So she was sick, right?
Absolutely.
She published something that was important, especially for that time.
Yeah.
And then she was also the first Black woman to produce a screenplay.
Wow.
Sick. It was a Swedish film, which is hilarious. That's just perfectly for Miss Maya Angelou. She also, throughout her career into the 70s, appeared in multiple movies, shows, and plays, right? Then, after doing all this whole sick life, she became a professor at Wake Forest, despite not even having a bachelor's degree, right? And so she wasn't even educated by our modern standards, and she was a professor, all right? She also, on top of that, taught at the University of California, the University of Kansas, and as stated before, the University of Ghana, and was also recognized as a Rockefeller Foundation Scholar at Yale University.
Wow.
Right. In 1993, she recited her poem On the Pulse of Morning at the presidential inauguration of Bill Clinton. Right. She was somebody who was present throughout multiple important moments in history.
Yeah.
But she was more than just present. Everything she did, she made a presence. She had a presence. She made a difference, right? So when I'm researching Miss Maya Angelou, which again, rest in peace. You are amazing. You were amazing. Everything you did is important, right? Everything it's like her Wikipedia, dude, which I know is not the most credible. Shut up, right? It was just like thing after thing, and there's even stuff in her early life, like she had been like molested by her mother's boyfriend, and she like I forget, like in the court case she had said something and he got free or whatever, and then he got like murdered. So then she was like, the words that I said can kill people. So then she was mute for like 5 years. She didn't talk again until she was like 12.
Wow.
Like she was like this like insanely like interesting, fascinating human who, again, like Ralph Waldo Emerson, who lived during the antebellum period. She lived during the civil rights period in the United States, and obviously before that as well, during World War II, would have been the ramifications of World War II. and everything that followed after that, the Korean War,
Yeah.
Vietnam, the Cold War. She lived through all of these, you know, really intense moments, right?
Yeah.
But despite I'm sure the difficulties that she faced, the animosity, the hatred, you know, everything, the struggle of being this type of person in any world, right? And she still made like an insane difference. And obviously a lot of the work that she's done has influenced and inspired. She was like a mentor to Oprah, which I don't know if you guys know who Oprah is, but Oprah is pretty rad too, pretty popular. But no, she was really cool. Like she genuinely made an impact.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point that I'm making. And for my, obviously I didn't know her, right? And I didn't do enough research on her. My apologies to the Angelo estate, but she was like sick. She was, and from my understanding of her, she didn't try to ever be something that like she was not.
Yeah.
She would just happen to be in a situation and was always, as the quote said before, wherever you are, be all there.
Yeah.
And she was all the way there.
Yeah.
Right. So, in conclusion, ministers, you can go up and start praying for some people now. All right. In closing, all right, one last thing that helped me kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say like conceptualize it even more. This is just in a film that I felt like also really portrayed it. Have you ever seen the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty? Came out in like 2013. Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, haven't seen it.
Oh,
so sorry. Night at the Museum?
Oh, yeah, it's the sequel to that.
Okay, got it. Got it.
It has like a 56 on Rotten Tomatoes. Whoever the critics are, they gave Secret Life of Walter Mitty a 56 on Rotten Tomatoes. I hope you get put down to bed and tucked in and with a warm glass of milk and cookies, and that you wake up with an ingrown toenail. Okay, that's how I feel about you, because that movie is really important. I think it's a really good movie. If you like Severance, right? Ben Stiller was also the director of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. You can kind of see a little bit of the elements, right? You haven't watched Severance yet.
I
Shut
started
up.
the first episode. So
Every other American in the entire United States has watched Severance. You're just dumb and haven't watched it. I told you like 3 years ago to watch it and you didn't watch it, idiot. And now everyone knows it. And I was cool before then.
It's like, I'm hearing it everywhere. It's like the number one like white guy hobby right now.
I was the original white guy hobby.
Okay, send it.
I was the original white guy hobby.
Was the first season that good?
Yeah, the ending is so good. Last two episodes are literally jaw-dropping.
Wow,
Second season's pretty good too. The ending was very good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But anyways, if you're a fan of Severance, watch Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's also directed by Ben Stiller. You can see his artistic direction. It's very beautiful. The cinematography is exceptional. If there's one thing you got to know about me, I love film. I love analyzing film. I love looking at the motifs and symbolism, blah, 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 character development, blah, 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 whatever. So there's a moment. Right, I'll go ahead and spoil it. Spoilers alert. It came out like 12 years ago, so shut up and watch it. Right. I'm not going to go through the whole movie, right, because you should have watched it by now, and it's your fault that you haven't. But there's a moment where Walter, if you've seen the movie, you know. If not, stop, pause this, go watch it, come back. Or find the clip and come back. Walter, right? Walter, okay, God, I got to give you the freaking, now I got to give you background.
Go ahead.
Anyways, Walter works at a magazine. He works in photo development. That's all you need to know. He goes on a trip to find a photographer that he's worked with essentially his entire, career at Life magazine. He finds him in the mountains of Afghanistan trying to photograph a snow leopard. It makes sense if you watch the movie. Trying to photograph a snow leopard, right? And in that moment, the photographer, who they call Sean O'Connell, it's played by the guy who played Rain Man. Check it out. He kind of explains to him that in certain moments he doesn't always take a picture, right? That there's some moments that you just have to be within. That not everything needs to be photographed. That some moments are so beautiful that you have to be in them. You have to live the moment, right? So in that essence, again, if you've watched the movie, you know that I'm super poetic and philosophical. But in that moment, it represents that the photograph, and this is applicable to any situation, a photograph is just proof that you were present. The lack of a photograph proves that you had presence. Because you were less concerned with conserving the moment than you were with enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And again, if you've seen the movie, you got to watch it tonight. At least scroll to the last 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's I was like, that's sick. I was watching that with Hannah.
Yeah.
Again, my beautiful girlfriend. Go ahead. But when I told you we'd slip that in somewhere, boom. Beautiful girlfriend Hannah. I was watching it with her, and I was like, this movie rules. And this was before I kind of solidified my topic, so I'm kind of glad that I was able to recall that and use that. So So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's my topic for this week. I know
Yeah.
it was redundant and it's probably doesn't mean anything to anybody, but it meant something to me.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what matters. So again, topic, power and presence, and understanding the difference between being present and having presence.
Yeah. No, I do really like that topic, especially being as we're both entering like the workforce and all of that. One of the main things that like you always hear is it's all about the people you know. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about the connections that you make. And so when I first started working, I started my job at Publix. I was super introverted. Like my circle wasn't even a circle; it was a line, and it went to you. That was literally it. And like I would go to work, and you would just turn on autopilot. Like that's all you. That's all I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then like one day out of nowhere, it just hit me. It's like wow, like I have to be here for the next 7 8 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, am I really going to not talk to somebody? Am I really not going to make an intentional decision to make a connection, right? And so, like with that, I feel like it's just such a valuable lesson to take with you because that's really what opens the doors. Not that you're doing it for any kind of gain, but like that's really where life takes place. I find it really interesting too how you said that. Remind me of the woman's name.
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou was
I
a.
hope that's how you pronounce that last name.
I hope so too.
It's
Because
spelled
you said it.
Angelou. I think it's Angelo.
Angelou
Angelou.
could
Anyways.
be, but yeah, no, like she was a professor without degrees,
Mm-hmm.
which just so shows like how much wisdom that you have to have,
Yeah.
and how again it's been the theme of the whole show. It just present in the moments that she was to be able to literally go and show her wisdom to other people that were striving to get more knowledge. And I think you kind of have a lack of that kind of accountability in current day education
Mm-hmm.
of and absolutely love the teachers that I've had that have really had their hearts in it because they have made you can tell they've made the effort in their personal studies in their personal time and that it wasn't just like the means to get by like it
Yeah.
was something they were like intentionally putting the whole intentionality thing and from that they say if you love what you do you don't work a day in your life and it just flows into the next generation but I mean nowadays like we have teacher shortages of
Yeah.
like we could have become like teachers
Yeah, honestly, we legitimately would
like we
qualify to be
legit
teachers.
qualified there was a shortage and I feel
God, I'd love to be a substitute
I-
teacher. Just put on freaking Bill Nye every day.
every single day
Get paid $6 an hour to watch Bill Nye.
I
Yes,
know.
please.
Man, what do you even like? What kind of resume builder is that? Like, what job looks at like substitute teaching? Pop quiz.
Unemployment.
That's a. That's not a bad
My
take.
favorite job is unemployment.
I know. Actually, you have to get fired from. It's probably an easy job to get fired from, and then you can kind of.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be watching Terrifier 2.
Terrifier. Man, but no, and I think that like, that's one of like the issues. If you have like a core issue, which would be like if I brought in teaching the younger generation, and then you like kind of scope out of like okay the presence or family life, you know what I'm saying, all that, and then you scope out even more. It feels like that's the big overlying blanket is presence, and so I think it's really good. It's a really good.
Yeah, so that
word
kinda-
you brought.
That makes me curious then. This is not in my notes. This is just me talking to my friend, my best friend, my baby boy. Was there a moment, right, when you were in New York City? Because obviously you went with your family and with your girlfriend,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was there ever like a moment that like you took and you were like, I'm going to like fully enjoy this moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they say like sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses. Did you have a smell the roses moment when you were in New York City, or did it just feel like you were like, go, 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 push, push,
Yeah.
push, push, rush, 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 rush?
Right. I think there was one moment that like surpassed the rest if in talking location wise, and that was at Grand Central Station.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why.
You were like, this is like Madagascar.
It's that's the first thing I said. But
Where's Alex?
it was just that was one of the moments where like I had to put the phone down for a second and just like I don't know the way that it encapsulates like your view. It's like it just keeps going. I'd say between that and that actually now that I say it, I don't think there was many moments in New York that was like that.
My point exactly, gang.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't, and it brings up a good point of like, do you look for that moment? Are you?
I think yeah, it's intentional. Like, I think it's little. I don't think that you have to always stop and be like, wow, what a beautiful, and like be super like methodical and like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I think like you could be walking your dog
Yeah.
and looking at TikTok and be like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like put my phone in my back pocket for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means to have like presence.
Yeah.
It is that intentional, and it is a sacrifice
Yeah.
because I could either be screen maxing again, like I said before, trying to get my 13 hours, so I can have an internet presence, or I can have a physical presence and feel the sun,
Mm-hmm.
feel the wind, listen to the birds chirp, right? You know.
Yeah, and I think I like when it comes to the New York trip, like I've tried to kind of create that kind of steadiness in my life where like I'm not heavily screen time oriented. Like I don't keep socials on my phone other than X.
Yeah.
And it's like so choosing those moments, it brings an interesting point actually, and I wonder if there's like a survey done on it, kind of like where do people choose to put those times to put the intentional time, because is it dependent on location?
Mm-hmm.
Is it dependent on, again, your having your phone in front of your face? And if you add up those hours in your life, like let's say that you are the most intentional at I don't know, not really work, but
Well, I feel like being present doesn't always have to deal with like your iPad, right?
No,
you don't
no,
gotta be like this. I
but
mean, like you can get so occupied with life, like living life, like I gotta pay the bills,
Yeah.
and like I gotta, like I said, like I gotta go to work, I
Yeah.
gotta do this. That it's like it's not always just like putting down this phone. Sometimes it is just genuinely like, even if you're in a chaotic moment, just stopping and being like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just acknowledging. That's why I said it's an intentional. It's a mindfulness. It is a mode of your brain.
Yeah.
Right? For some people, and the reason why I use the example of the screen time is because for that's like the most applicable thing to most people today, especially our generation, like the younger people.
No doubt.
It is, you just get so all consumed by watching other people and living vicariously through other people's lenses, right? I think that like it's obviously useful for us, but also it can just be like in the hustle and bustle of life, even if you do take moments to like not be on your phone or not do something, but like again, it's this moment that it's like, I will never be here again.
Yeah.
I will never be this day old in this hour in this place ever again.
Yeah.
But I can be here. I can, in my brain, I can say, I'm so happy. I mean, it's almost like a gratitude. It's almost a mindfulness, like a mindset of gratitude and of thanksgiving, of being like acknowledging where you are despite where you are.
Yeah.
Right? It can be chaos, but still being like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm breathing.
Right.
I'm happy to be here with my friend. I'm happy that the lights aren't too bright that it hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's not too hot, and
Right.
even though I'm sweating a little bit, it's fine because you probably can't see it. And it's the thought that like I am here.
Yeah.
That's what I hope that I kind of conveyed that a little bit.
No, absolutely.
But it's not just that you're actively not doing something. It's the contrary, that you are actively doing something.
Yeah.
It could be you could be in chaos and just acknowledge the fact that you are in chaos, and that's having presence.
Yeah. Right. And I see that kind of parallel. I've heard it said before. It's like, like when it comes to past, present, future, like we don't have the past, and tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And so like all we really have is the present moment,
I
right?
have a Master Oogway quote for you.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda. You guys all know what I'm about to say. The past is... No, I'm not going to say it like him. The past is history. The future is a mystery. But today is a gift. That's why it's called the present.
That's a crazy
That's such
quote.
a sick quote for
I
being
need to
in a
rewatch
children's
it now.
movie, dude.
Yeah.
I literally put that in here. I was like, dude, I have to say that.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so good.
It's so good.
Because that's a part of being present, is that it's a duality. It's a dual word. It means a gift and also being somewhere. Why can't those be the same thing?
Right. Right.
I think when you acknowledge that being somewhere is a gift, that's when you have presence. When the present turns from being just physically to a gift, there's presence. Yeah. Boom. Chapter closed. Nailed that on the head.
Man.
Little flex.
Do your thing, man. That was really good.
Do you like that?
I did.
Well, that's good, because Jay, I have a challenge for you.
Oh, wow.
Because we said we want to challenge one another, which we have to talk about our challenges from last episode.
Oh, my goodness. That's right.
Jay's challenge, as it's labeled in my notes. Jay, your challenge for these next 2 weeks is I just want you to take one conscious moment to be present without any distractions and enjoy a moment with someone. Now, here's a caveat. Whether known or unknown.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think like you also like you can have a moment with somebody you've never met before. I mean, isn't that the best feeling in the world? Like when you meet somebody new and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is cool. Like I'm talking to this guy, and then like you think about them when you go home. You're like, that guy was so cool, or that guy was so weird, or that guy was so funny, or whatever.
Yeah.
So like my challenge to you, right? And it's not a very difficult one, but for some people at home, if you are also maybe taking this challenge that I have to Jay for yourself as well, just take that one moment. It just has to be one in the next 14 days. You just take one and you say, you know what, I'm gonna invite my mom to brunch.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sit with her with no phones and we're just gonna talk. Because I haven't sat with my mom and talked in a long time.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could be like, oh, this guy's, coming up to the register and he asked me how my day was, so maybe I'll just talk with him for 30 seconds. But in that time I will be fully captured by him and him by me, or her by me and him, or me by her. And just be fully in the moment and have the presence that you need.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good challenge.
And then for my challenge, for myself, I said tell every family member, in my immediate family. Obviously, I'm not gonna text like my great cousin 6 times removed. Anyways, tell every family member once a day, every day for the next 14 days, which you should be doing this every day, that I love them. I just want to take one moment out of every day, and again, it's a mindfulness thing, and just tell them that I love them, and just keep it simple. Hey, Dad, I love you. Hey, I'm doing it right now. Hey, Dad, I love you. Hey, Mom, I love you. Hey, Carson, I love you. Hey, Hannah, I love you. I've already said all those today independently, but I'm saying them again. It's so nice you got to say it twice.
Yeah.
But that's my challenge. Again, it's the whole idea of just being mindful and being grateful for the blessings that we do have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, what was last week's challenge?
My challenge to you
Was
to do this
again. So that was easy. Now you've ramped up what I wanted to do, because I love the way that was formatted, and I second guessed myself. I had an original topic that I wanted to do, but then I felt like I was formatting it to PowerPoint-y, but and I think I just overthought myself into it.
I told you Professor Cornball was in class.
Man,
dude.
I know, and so it's definitely exciting me. So I'm taking that challenge twofold now into next week, of where like, okay, I feel very comfortable in going about it in that format, because I like the educational side of it. Like I feel like I learned something new with the people that
shout out Maya Angelou,
Waldo. Yeah.
Where's Waldo? Mr. Ralph Waldo Emerson, and Jim Elliott.
Right. Just people that you've never heard of that might have gotten lost in history.
The shuffle of history.
The shuffle of history. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was also worried about that. I implore you to go watch me talk about how slow I am at running, but also the last like 5 minutes of my video. I did talk about that, and about like how I kind of get in my own head. Right. If you haven't noticed, I am an insecure little man, right? And I am hypercritical. I am self-deprecating, right? In my video, I said I'm self-deprivating, which is the funniest thing. I deny myself simple pleasures. No, I'm deprecating. I talk bad about myself to myself, right? And so like when I have like 6 topics that I want, which by the way, you're going to love my next one. I already have it mapped out.
Let it be so.
But like in all these concepts, I just didn't want to come across as a cornball. I didn't want to have like so I said, I promise it's not preachy. I didn't want to have like this like deep philosophical, like you have to be present, man. You have to show it. Like I didn't want it to be anything that was like supposed to be intentionally deep. I just wanted it to be applicable, right? And then I also didn't want, like how you said, I didn't want to come across like a PowerPoint or like I'm trying to teach you something, because I'm not. What really happened is that I found something that I wanted to know more about, and that I wanted to be applicable to me, right? And then I found things that I found interesting.
Yeah.
And if I find them interesting, there might be one other person who may find those things interesting. And again, I implore you, dude, go find out who Maya Angelou is. Learn more than I did, because she is an important figure, right? Especially if not if you're into, but if you need to understand the civil rights movement, that's an important woman in that movement. But like I learned something cool.
Yeah.
I had just as good as a time talking to you about this as I did researching it.
Yeah.
And because like it was something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So like you don't have to be in a rubric, or a formula. There is no way to like, dude, this is our second episode.
Right.
The next time, dude, I could literally, I mean, I am going to talk about something absolutely whack as bonkers.
Okay.
It's going to be mental.
Let's go.
Right? And it's going to be stupid and it's going to be fun. And I will do a little bit of research, but it's not going to be as like, like learning. It's going to be like, this is something cool that I want to talk about. And it happens to me. But yeah, dude, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my challenge for you, and I think this is kind of something that you can bring into like the next topics that you bring, if not, but to find a relevant personal experience, like within your next.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Find a I know how to spell relevant
personal experience that you can like show up here on the big screen. And I think that it'd be cool if we can kind of tie it into and we just talked about, being present, not recording everything, but like the concept of bringing our lives into to make it more real and personable here, because I really like something like that. And then like the way that it looked on our weeks. And I know you have your personal channel, so everybody go follow this guy.
Don't follow this guy because he still has not taken the initiative to go make his own channel yet.
Right.
Didn't even watch my YouTube video, did you?
I didn't.
Someone doesn't have presence. Also for you, Gen... What's the new Gen? Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha.
For Gen Alpha listeners, what it means to have presence is you have max aura.
There's Generation Beta now. Did you know that, actually?
If I was Generation Beta, I would drive off a bridge.
Yeah, no, that's rough. I just learned that.
I refuse to be... At least... The only generation you want to live in is Gen Alpha. And then Gen X.
And we're in...
X.
Z.
Oh my god, we're Z.
We're Z.
That's cool too.
Like they call it... over in the Brits, they say Z.
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 Parlez-vous français?
Como est là?
Comment te va?
Are we speaking two different languages right now?
Oui.
Nah.
Je m'appelle Ruiz.
Mobilation.
Wesley Schneider, the sniper.
I'm glad we're on the same.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
No, I had to speak Spanish to somebody this week that didn't speak English, and I don't speak Spanish. If you guys have ever tried to do that, don't, because you guys aren't going to get along. Here's what I said. I told you this, but I'm going to say it again. Hola, ¿cómo está? Me llamo Ruiz. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? And he looked at me like I had 9 heads and 4 feet. I was like, he hit one of these.
Did it,
so,
and he legibly, or not legibly, but
he wrote it down. Yeah, he legibly wrote
legibly. It. No, he spoke Spanish back to you, like he could understand partially what he said. He's Colombian. Okay.
He's from Colombia, dude. That guy should have had no reason to not if you can't tell, guys, at home, I'm still upset about it. It was Monday. It's been 2 days, and I'm still thinking about it. Like, I'm never gonna speak Spanish ever again.
It's those things you hold on to, man. Yeah.
It's the little things, man.
Little things.
So it gets to you. So, you had a good time in New York City.
Yeah.
What's your next trip?
My next trip, I want to go to DC.
DC's lame.
From what I hear, it's not bad historically, and
it's not bad historically.
Historically,
nah, I mean it's mid.
Historically speaking,
DC's cool. Yeah.
And I don't know, Redwoods. We got to cook something up.
In CAL.
In Seattle, we got to go to Portland. You said CAL. I thought you said
Redwoods are in California.
Yeah, well, California. I know you said Seattle. I was like, and Seattle?
C-A-L.
Okay. For some reason, I heard
That's
Seattle.
fine. I forgive you.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. We got to cook something up for the trip. But so I had that Geico interview.
Oh, yes. We said we would touch base on that. I forgot about that. Yes.
And I wasn't...
Was it Zoom?
I wasn't supposed to say the name.
We'll bleep it.
We'll bleep it out. But I had the interview. And dude, so I go into I prep for this thing. It's like 30 minutes early. It was scheduled at 9:30. So I got into my room at 9. It was a virtual thing, and I was fully prepared for the way that you had said your first experience was. But no, it was a one-on-one thing.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah. So that part was nice. And so I test my audio. I make sure that everything is running okay.
The pod mic?
No, that would be sick, honestly.
You show up like in a full pod setup.
I know.
Hello, gang.
Thank you for joining this interview. No, and so I'm like super optimistic. I'm going over all of like these pre-interview things, and then I join. She lets me into the thing, and she's like, "I can't hear you." And
Bro.
I'm like, oh no, like it's showing up, like on a Zoom call,
Yeah,
it
it has
has
like
the
the
little
little like
outline.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
talking. I'm like, everything's good on my end. She's like, I can't hear you. And so I go and I start troubleshooting it. She's troubleshooting nothing on her end because she said that she interviewed somebody beforehand already. And so I'm like, so she thinks that she's fine. I go and join on my phone. I downloaded the app on my phone and join it. Still can't hear you. And then I go and
Was your mic muted in the top
no,
corner?
it wasn't. And then I plugged in my headphones. And then I brought it up. And then again, there's a meter for your microphone. I can't hear you. And dude, I left so mad. Like I've never been that heated before in my life. And I rescheduled the interview. It was fine. But in the moment, like
Describe this lady to me. What's her social?
4,
41777
just 4.
2334.
Yes, thank you.
That's her social.
That's her.
If that's your social, tap. That's my social in the comment.
That's my social.
That's,
Oh my gosh.
it's a commercial, isn't it? My social?
Is it really?
I don't know. Describe her to me.
Describe her. Yeah, no, she Latina?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm going.
I'm sorry.
To
Did she
describe.
She took one good look at you and said, "This guy cannot sell insurance."
I'm not even going for a sales position.
How are you supposed to sell insurance if you don't even have it, brother?
I've got insurance.
Car insurance.
Yeah. And then so yeah, I went and did the other one, and we'll see. I've been applying to other jobs.
So the update, guys, is no update.
No update. No update
No update.
at all.
It's fine, dude. It's the same thing with me, dude. I told you guys I was going to update you about my annotated bibliography that I wrote, and I spent like 9 hours doing straight consecutively on a Sunday after a long run, and I was miserable, and I stayed up late, and I had to wake up early the next morning, and I had no hours of sleep, and then I got a message from my English teacher telling me that the deadline had actually been extended to Wednesday, even though I had stayed up late that night before. And then guess what?
What?
That mangy... I'm going to fail the class if I post this. That beautiful, lovely lady hasn't even graded it yet. It's been like 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm here on a podcast.
Yeah.
My entire subject is gone. All I have to talk about now is my annotated bibliography, how I did so good and got a 95. And actually, there is no answer.
Yeah. That's so like deflating.
That little rascal, dude. When I tell you I was furious, I was already having a bad day kind of on Monday, and then I get that stupid Canvas thing pops up, and it's like, hey guys, I'm actually not going to be able to grade the annotated bibliographies for a little bit, so I went ahead and extended the deadline for you guys.
What?
The day after the assignment was due.
Wow.
So you just helped all the people who were lazy and dumb.
Yeah, right.
And then you punished me for being smart and awesome and fit and sexy. And smart.
It happens.
It happens to the best of us,
It
bro.
really does. Yeah, I was just talking about this earlier with my girlfriend. Hey. And we were just talking about the outside looking in. You look at college and the amount that people pay for college, and you're like, okay, they must have a system. They must have every professor
all be smart.
must be put together. And man, now being a senior, like I have professors that have not graded things in months. You said a couple weeks. It's been months and they haven't entered it in. Their syllabus is 4 sentences. It's like it's the kinds of things where it's like I thought this was
tenure,
like
bro.
university standard, and it's like, man, this might be a scam.
College is a scam.
It's
Let's
a
be
scam.
honest, guys. I'm gonna look it up right now. Pull it up, chat.
Yeah, pull it up.
Pull it up because let's see if we got if maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe if I was too harsh on this lady.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Bang.
That'd be so. I wish we could screencast this.
No,
but
I'm glad that we're not. You guys don't need to see that. Let's see.
Come on, annotated.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah.
This lady blows.
Hey, but it got AI tested. I see that little Turnitin.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Do I have to agree to that?
No.
Does that mean it got
free country?
originally reported? Did she report it?
No, that's just it's just a
Worst possible update on this thing.
live. Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's
no.
funny. Oh man.
Okay, I just have to agree.
Yeah.
Oh no. How did it score?
I see it highlights out everything that looks off.
So the most thing I got was a 2% chance.
That it's AI generated.
Yeah.
They're just going off of a whim at that point.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
A less than 1% chance.
Right. And even if they put like a 50, let's just say, like they're just going off, like I said, they're going off a whim and
I
assuming
wrote
that
that.
they're assuming that you're not
I'm
capable of
dumb enough.
writing that.
She did this before, bro. I jumped PMO,
Yeah.
SM.
And that's not going to
I
affect
literally
your
wrote that
final.
psychology from the University of Georgia. He served as a professor. What was it say? Served Georgia Southern?
Hold on.
Freak.
Right.
This lady sucks, actually. I take back what I said, dude. This is the second time, dude. My first assignment that I turned in for this class, I slammed the MacBook. That's how mad I am.
Wow.
She literally called me in the office and was like, hey, why did you AI this entire response? It's week 1. And I was like, dude, I literally wrote it.
No way.
Yeah, it was because I wrote it like I was like, oh, hey, this is my second time at college. I messed around the first time, and now I'm having to pay for it out of pocket, and I'm dumb.
No.
And so maybe I should actually try and apply myself. And I tried and applied myself, and she's like, nobody knows anything about horticulture. Because I wrote about strawberries, and I'm like, dude, I literally know a professor who is the lead of horticulture, specifically for strawberries, at the University of Florida, and I grew up with him.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I was like, ma'am, I literally, I had it prepared. I had the receipts, bro. I was like, I will literally show you his website on Florida State University.edu and show you that I know, and I'll show you a picture of myself with him when I was like 8 years old.
And you shouldn't even need to prove all of that. It's just they can't be wrong.
No, and she's like, well, in the future, if you're going to use information that maybe the general public doesn't know, I will need you to provide a source. I don't have a source.
Oh, my.
I'm the source. Me.
Yeah, right.
I'm Mexican, lady. She was like flagging me on strawberries. That's all we do, bro.
I know. It's just for you. You need to bring like an ancestry.com kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I know. Oh, hey, sorry. Hey, I'm Mexican. Actually, I have like so many family members who came to America to pick strawberries. I know what temperature strawberries grow at. Dude.
Yeah.
And I wrote this, and dude, I literally spent like 9 hours on this paper. That makes me, you can see that I'm angry because my academic integrity is being tested. The only thing that I maybe, and I'll admit to it right now, that I may have used AI for was helping me to format my citations, like where you have to do like the last name, first name, source.
Yeah, and I think they're fine with that. They allow like Grammarly and stuff. So.
But I was like helping me format that. I wasn't like, hey, here's this paper, and write an entire annotated bibliography.
Yeah.
It was, dude,
That's frustrating.
Let's not talk about it,
That's
dude. You know what? Next time we tune in, I'll tell you that I went and I screamed. Maybe she's getting back at me because I skipped class today.
Good.
I'm skipping class because you're mean to me. You're mean to me. I'm writing a research paper on a movie I didn't even want to watch, and you said that I should write my paper on it because you wanted to read a paper about that movie.
You didn't respond to my email saying that I wanted the whole class to watch Walter Mitty.
I want the whole class to watch Lion King.
To watch Lion King.
But yeah, no, I mean, hey, who cares? I'm present, and I'm having presence in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of that, I actually have a present for you.
Oh, do you?
No, I don't.
I went to New York City. Didn't even bring me nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Fine.
What did you want? Like a cigarette butt?
I wanted, preferably like an ashtray, like right outside one of those major corporations. Just give me an ashtray and just bring it back. But no, I'm happy you're back. That's the best present that you can give me.
Oh.
Is you coming back? Which, I think. What do you think?
Wonderful.
You think we're good?
I think we're good.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching, truthfully, and you know, you guys are the reason that we're doing this, and we're hoping to shoot for 17 views, I think, on this one.
17 views, 2 likes.
2 likes this one. If we could please, if you want to go down and like and leave
Subscribe.
a comment. I said a lot of subscribe, absolutely. I did say a lot of hot takes about New York, but I'm always down for, you know.
Jay's going to be posting a video this week on his own personal YouTube page about the current economical, socio-political climate of New York City that he, in person, experienced this past week.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to be doing that, but I think I do. Well, I do want to find what I want to do. I'm going to. That's that. Can you tell me that? So that's my challenge too.
Do me. Throw me, Bob. Throw me. That one's for Hannah. She loves that movie.
Yeah, that's good.
No, dude, just do you, brother. Do you on camera.
I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Mixed Podcast episode 2. We'll see you next time.
Next time.
Ciao.